कमांडर शैलेंद्र टिक्कू की कमान में नौसेना की मार्चिंग टुकड़ी सलामी मंच के सामने से निकल गई और उसके बाद अब पहला मॉडल भारतीय नौसेना का आ रहा है। 1971 के युद्ध में जिस विमान वाहक पोत ने पाकिस्तानियों पर कहर ढा दिया वो है विक्रांत। अब विक्रांत इस समय नौसेना में नहीं है किंतु नौसेना के इतिहास को कह रहा है, संग्रहालय के रूप में नई पीढ़ी को प्रेरणा देता रहेगा। इसी विक्रांत से अनेक विमान उड़े थे जिन्होंने पूर्वी पाकिस्तान के चटगांव आदि शहरों पर कहर ढाया था अपने बमबारी से और नए देश को जन्म दिया। सिंधु रक्षक पनडुब्बी सलामी मंच के सामने नौसेना की अग्रिम पंक्ति के स्क्वाड्रन में किलो श्रेणी की पनडुब्बी शामिल की गई है। हमारे मुख्य अतिथि प्रसन्न चित्त वायुसेना मार्चिंग दस्ता, पहले बैंड वायुसेना बैंड सार्जेंट पॉल टी की कमान में धुन विजय भारत। स्क्वाड्रन लीडर वीवी टुकनाइट की कमान में वायुसेना का मार्चिंग दस्ता। अन्य अफसर हैं नवलीन अटवाल, फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर जे सिंह, फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर के भल्ला और 144 वायुसैनिक इन्फेंट्री के समान मार्च करते हुए विहंगम दृश्य राजपथ पर उन सभी कदम से कदम मिलाकर मार्च करती हुई टुकड़ियों का और संगीत की लहरियां बिखेरते हुए ड्रम्स, पाइप्स और मिलिट्री बैंड्स का रीनी खन्ना।
Thank you, Brigadier Saban. We have the Lakshya in front of the saluting dais now, designed, developed and manufactured indigenously. This advanced, cost-effective aerial target system, pilotless target aircraft, has been offered to the Indian Air Force after extensive trial by the DRDO. And all the three services, that is the Air Force, the Navy and the Army, have ordered the Lakshya under the limited series production, jointly executed by ADL and HAL. Behind the Lakshya is the OSA AKCV missiles. The missile system of the Indian Air Force, a highly mobile surface-to-air guided weapon system with the Mi-35 assault helicopter just behind them, commanded by Flying Officer A. Goswami. This is for the first time that the Mi-35 assault helicopter is taking part in the Republic Day celebrations. This has a maximum speed of 310 kilometers per hour. A helicopter of Russian origin, inducted into the Indian Air Force in 1990. And behind the Mi-35 assault helicopter, the MiG-27M aircraft, an all-weather, high-performance, supersonic variable geometry fighter bomber, which flies at speeds above 1,300 kilometers per hour at sea level. The contingent of the MiG-27M, commanded by Squadron Leader Ashwini Mankot. Behind the MiG-27, the Jaguar, a single-seater high-wing military aircraft powered by two Ado bypass turbofan engines. This aircraft can operate from grass, airfields and perforated steel plate runways. Contingent Commander, Flight Lieutenant Pradeep Singh. The aircraft and the engines are manufactured by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited factory at Bangalore. The aircraft's navigation and weapon delivery system is fully computerized, enabling the pilot to reach pre-planned enemy targets at great distances, both on land and sea, at extremely low levels in the day and night. Behind the Jaguar, a series of state-of-the-art missiles of the Defense Research and Development Organization. Today on display, the Prithvi, Trishul, Akash, battery-level Radar 2, the Nag and the Agni. And first of the series, the Prithvi, the missile capable of striking terror at the heart of the enemy, by a guaranteed reach and destruction of the target. This tactical Brahmashastra of the field force commanders has enhanced the area of influence. The contingent, which is from 333 Missile Group, is commanded by Major Ajay Gupta. And the Prithvi has been inducted into the army recently. Behind the Prithvi, the Trishul combat vehicle, the most important component of the army version of the surface-to-air missile system, which can intercept all kinds of air targets within a range of 9 kilometers. The 4 ready-to-launch missiles are positioned inside the containers, and behind the Trishul is the Akash. The President, Mr. K.R. Narayanan, acknowledging the salutations of the armed forces. The Akash, which is a self-propelled launcher with 3 surface-to-air missiles in ready-to-launch position in a 25-degree elevation. The reaction time for this missile is 15 seconds, and the time between 2 successive launches is just 5 seconds. The missile, which is 5.8 meters long and weighs 680 kilograms. Behind the Akash, the battery-level Radar 2, which is the Rajendra multifunction phased array radar. It's an electronically controlled radar system with computerized beam steering and is capable of multi-functions like air surveillance, target acquisition and tracking, missile acquisition, tracking and guidance. The radar can carry out all these tasks simultaneously on 4 targets. Battery-level Radar 2. And behind that is the Nag missile, a 3rd-generation anti-tank guided missile with fire and forget and top attack capabilities. It's carried on a tracked vehicle, Namika. The missile has tandem-shaped charge warheads to defeat all futuristic armor, including explosive reactive armor. The Namika carries 12 Nag missiles, and 4 missiles are carried in the missile launcher module in a ready-to-fire state, and 8 of them are stowed inside the vehicle.
And now we have the pride of today's parade.
And one of the highlights of this Republic Day parade, ladies and gentlemen, the Agni steadily approaching the saluting dais.
Really the proud of
And for that we have Pradesh.
DRDO.
धन्यवाद रिनी।
Intermediate range ballistic
और
missile,
अब इस भव्य परेड का एक मुख्य आकर्षण सलामी मंच के सामने से गुजरता हुआ इंटरमीडिएट बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल अग्नि। इसमें 20 मीटर लंबी स्टेज प्रपल्शन प्रणालियां हैं और इसके ढांचे का व्यास 1 मीटर है तथा प्रक्षेपण भार 16 टन है। ये मिसाइल एक बार में 1000 किलोग्राम पुनः प्रवेश परिचालन भार ले जा सकती है। 1989, 1992 और 1994 के दौरान अग्नि का परीक्षण किया जा चुका है। इन परीक्षणों में कार्बन कंपोजिट पुनः प्रवेश भार दिशा सूचक निर्देशन तथा नियंत्रण, टर्मिनल फेज के दौरान परिचालन, पुनः प्रवेश प्रक्षेपण अभियान तथा ऐसे अभियानों के लिए क्षमताओं जैसी क्रांतिक तकनीकों को स्थापित किया गया है। और अब सलामी मंच के सामने से गुजर रहा है आर्टिलरी सेंटर मद्रास इंजीनियरिंग ग्रुप, गढ़वाल राइफल्स सेंटर पंजाब रेजिमेंट की 16वीं बटालियन, 58 गोरखा ट्रेनिंग सेंटर ग्रेनेडियर्स रेजिमेंटल सेंटर और राजपूताना राइफल्स की 7वीं बटालियन का सामूहिक पैक पाइप और ड्रम बैंड। और अब भूतपूर्व सैनिकों का मार्चिंग दस्ता। राष्ट्रीय सेवा में इन लोगों ने अपनी जवानी न्योछावर कर दी और भूतपूर्व सैनिकों के मार्चिंग दस्ते के पीछे सीमा सुरक्षा बल का बैंड, जो इंस्पेक्टर NC नाथ के नेतृत्व में मार्च करता हुआ जा रहा है। और बैंड के पीछे सीमा सुरक्षा बल का मार्चिंग दस्ता। दस्ते का नेतृत्व डिप्टी कमांडेंट UM सुब्रमणी कर रहे हैं। विश्व के सबसे बड़े इस अर्धसैनिक बल का गठन 1 दिसंबर 1965 में हुआ। सीमा सुरक्षा बल के जवान दिन रात पूरी मुस्तैदी के साथ पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश और म्यांमार के साथ लगने वाली अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमाओं की चौकसी कर रहे हैं। और अब समन्वय और तालमेल का एक अद्भुत नमूना सीमा सुरक्षा बल का ऊंटों का दस्ता। इस बल का नेतृत्व असिस्टेंट कमांडेंट शैतान सिंह कर रहे हैं। ऊंट को सही मायनों में रेगिस्तान का जहाज कहा जाता है, क्योंकि राजस्थान के मरुस्थल और कच्छ के रण जैसे दुर्गम क्षेत्रों में ये ऊंट हमारे सीमा रक्षकों के भरोसेमंद साथी हैं। ब्रिगेडियर सावंत।
सुंदर, मनमोहक राजस्थान की मरुभूमि आज नई दिल्ली के राजपथ पर। मरुस्थल का जहाज, बहुत चटक सलूट असिस्टेंट कमांडेंट शैतान सिंह का, सीमा सुरक्षा बल का ऊंट दस्ता जो अनेक तस्करों को पकड़ते हैं, आंखों को कितना प्रिय। और ये बैंड, बहुत ही सुंदर सीमा सुरक्षा बल का ऊंट बैंड, पूरे विश्व में अपने आप में अकेला। सब इंस्पेक्टर हसन खान के नेतृत्व में धुन ये है सीमा सुरक्षा बल। लहरियां सुंदर संगीत की, आंखों को प्रिय और कानों को प्रिय एक समान। असम राइफल्स कैप्टन वासुदेवन नारायणन के नेतृत्व में विद्रोही गतिविधियों को पूर्वोत्तर में रोकने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका इनकी रही है। 164 वर्ष पुराना असम राइफल्स, गोरखा हेड, जो कि वहां पर सत्ता का, प्रभुत्व का चिन्ह है, सबसे पुराना अर्धसैनिक बल। कैप्टन वासुदेवन नारायणन सेना मेडल से विभूषित हैं। हवलदार नायक, बहुत ही सुंदर, अनेक कीर्ति चक्र, सेवा मेडल। असम राइफल्स का बैंड नायब सूबेदार रॉबिन कुरन के नेतृत्व में धुन असम राइफल्स के सिपाही, देश की हमने शान बढ़ाई। आनंद लीजिए। तट रक्षक बल डिप्टी कमांडेंट बीएन सिंह ने क्रिच को दाहिने तरफ झुकाया। नौसेना समान यूनिफॉर्म इनका। वयम रक्षामा, हम रक्षा करते हैं देश के समुद्री तट की। 28 लाख वर्ग किलोमीटर मछुआरों की चक्रवात से रक्षा। 13 प्रेसिडेंट तटरक्षक पदक, 44 तटरक्षक पदक। घुसपैठियों को रोका इन्होंने। केंद्रीय रिजर्व पुलिस बैंड 34वीं बार गणतंत्र दिवस परेड में शामिल। इंस्पेक्टर पुरुषोत्तम राम की कमान में धुन सेवा का ये प्रतीक सीआरपीएफ कहता है। और मनमोहक, और जब त्वरित कार्यबल, रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स जो अपनी यूनिफॉर्म से जाने जाते हैं, जहां फिर बलवा हो वहां पहुंच जाते हैं, शांति स्थापित करते हैं। इनके बारे में मेजर विनोद कृष्ण।
The Rapid Action Force from the CRPF, commanded by Assistant Commandant Shri Manmohan Singh. The average height of this contingent is 6 feet, if you please. The ITBP band, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, now in front of the dais, and they play for us. हम सरहद के सेनानी, हम सच्चे हिंदुस्तानी। ITBP. Following the ITBP band is the contingent from Indo-Tibetan Border Police, that is ITBP, led by Deputy Commandant Ravinder Singh. The attractive headgear is most prominent. Raised on 24th October 1962, the ITBP keeps vigil on the Indo-Tibetan border from Kakaram Pass in J&K to Lipulek Pass in Uttar Pradesh. CISF comes in next. Central Industrial Security Force is the largest industrial security force in the world. Led here by Assistant Commandant Shri J.K. Tiwari. Vital installations of the country like ISRO, Satellite Launching Center, atomic power plants, ONGC installations, steel plant and coal fields power plants and what have you. They're all guarded by CISF. And following this contingent from CISF is the CISF band. Here playing the tune Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja. Railway Protection Force comes in next, commanded here by Param Shiv, Assistant Security Commissioner. It is meant, as you know, for providing protection and security to railway properties. Raised in 1962, the force has earned 415 medals by the President of India and many, many others. Delhi Police Band comes in next. Here playing the tune Delhi Police, Delhi Police. The band comprises one inspector and the musicians. And after the Delhi Police Band is the Delhi Police Marching Contingent, here led by Shri Hargovind Dhaliwal. The contingent has been participating in the parade ever since India became a republic in 1950. Further, Suneet Chandra.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Yes, the Delhi Police contingent has just passed by, very smart marching, and now approaching the saluting days. The contingents of the National Cadet Corps, which has its genesis in the University Corps, which was created in 1917. Leading the contingent is the Senior Division Boys Marching Contingent of the NCC, led by Senior Under Officer Ravinder Singh of the Uttar Pradesh Directorate. In 1920, the University Corps became the University Training Corps, and in 1942, the University Officers Training Corps. In 1948, the National Cadet Corps came into being in its present form at the behest of our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The NCC celebrated its Golden Jubilee during 1998, and this is the NCC Golden Jubilee Republic Day Parade contingent that we are now watching. What a proud moment it is for all of them. As an NCC cadet, the proudest moment is to be selected to take part in this Republic Day Parade. And behind them, the band of the Jat Regiment Centre and EME Centre, led by Subedar Suresh Chand and Subedar Major Hari Singh, playing Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja. And here, shoulder to shoulder with the boys of the NCC, the Senior Division Girls Contingent of the NCC, led by Senior Under Officer Soumya of Karnataka and Goa Directorate. Just see how smart they are, how proud they are to be here. Their faces shining with ardour and pride. And now the contingent of the National Service Scheme. This comprises 148 volunteers selected from various schools, colleges and universities. The NSS inculcates the spirit of voluntary work among the students and teachers through sustained community interaction. It's made significant contributions in the field of environment, literacy, disaster management, health and family welfare and AIDS awareness. And here comes the Army Band, the Combined Army Band, led by Subedar Major Mukhtiar Singh of the Rajpath Regiment, the Sikh Regiment, the 2nd Battalion of Garhwal Rifles, 16th Battalion of Sikh Light Infantry, 1st Battalion of 5 Gurkha Rifles, 9th Battalion of Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, and 3rd Battalion of 11 Gurkha Rifles. The tune, Sete composition, Veer Bharat. And here is a standard fixture on these Republic Day parades, one that is always very popular with the crowds, the band of the Birla Balika Vidyapeeth Pilani, playing their sprightly music with their tartan kilts. This is the NCC band of the girls of the Birla Balika Vidyapeeth. More proud NCC cadets on this parade, and it's a tradition with this school to take part in this parade. The amazingly panoramic and broad vista of Rajpath all the way to Rashtrapati Bhavan, flanked by the two secretariats. And now, highlight of the parade, which is looked forward to by everybody, the cultural pageant. A total of 27 tableaux are participating in this year's Republic Day celebrations. The first of these is the Delhi tableau on communal harmony. The capital city Delhi is a mini India. She is India's heart, its beat and reflection. And it's a living example of communal harmony and tolerance. Chandni Chowk of Delhi is reflected in this tableau with all the various places of worship associated with it. The Jain Lal Mandir, the Gauri Shankar Mandir, the Gurdwara Sisganj. You can see people praying over there. And following the Delhi tableau is that of Orissa, depicting non-violence. In our country, bloodshed and killings in war transformed the hearts of great and strong emperors who, as a result, gave up their weapons. The story of Emperor Ashok is well known after the Battle of Kalinga and its horrifying violence, and this is what is depicted here. The Emperor Ashok abandoning his weapons and becoming a follower of Lord Buddha.
Emperor Ashoka had abandoned his weapons and became the follower of.
And here comes the tableau of the India Ordnance Factories on the theme security. India is powerful yet peace-loving, but our dedication to non-violence does not mean cowardice. It is known to the world that India was forced to take up arms in self-defense, and this shows foreign invaders and the strong defense put up by our smart soldiers. A theme which obviously goes down well with everybody present here. And here comes the float depicting peace from West Bengal. White doves, large white doves, can be seen on it. India has striven for world peace always. Our performance in international peacekeeping missions has been widely acclaimed. And West Bengal has decided to celebrate this aspect of our heritage. Weapons of mass destruction should be completely eliminated from the world so that the tragedy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is never repeated. This is our aspiration and our goal, and conveyed in an artistic manner through dancers and representations of doves on this beautiful float prepared by West Bengal.
And his piece, which is most essential for civilizations, prosper. The white dove, beautiful birds, and artists depicting the flying birds. And this brings us to...
It seems that the humans were learning from the doves there. And now the Gujarat tableau approaching are the Dholavira. The Indus Valley civilization is represented here. You can see people who are dressed in clothes recreating that civilization, one of the most ancient civilizations of the world. As we all know, it was a well-planned and organized township civilization. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal, Dholavira are some of the places where the relics of this great civilization have been excavated. And this is a fascinating tableau presented by Gujarat, providing a glimpse of the relics found at Dholavira. The utensils, beautiful ornaments, potteries, pictorial script, the well-laid drainage system are some of the prominent features which indicate that a well-developed civilization existed here in ancient times. And what I find really fascinating is the recreation of the costumes and perhaps lifestyles of people depicted in this tableau from Gujarat. There's a large earthen pot, the headgear recreated from statuettes. It's a real glimpse into our ancient past, a past of which we're all proud, one of the most ancient civilizations on Earth. You can see the brick-built structures depicted over there. People going about their daily lives, dressed in colorful costumes, which still find an echo in modern India. Textiles were very important, as is obvious from the relics, and these textiles are depicted here. India has always been a center of the best in textile technology throughout the ages, right from ancient times. And now, the float of Chandigarh, depicting a modern city, quite the converse of what we have just seen. From an ancient civilization, we go to one of the most modern cities of the country. Let this be a new town, symbolic of the freedom of India, unfettered by the traditions of past, an expression of the nation's faith in the future. These words of our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, reflect the spirit of Chandigarh. And that is depicted on this tableau, celebrating the golden jubilee of its conception. The Union Territory seeks to express the meaning and spirit of the city and to reflect its harmony with nature. And you can see Nek Chand's famous rock garden visualized over there. And now, as the Bihar float approaches, over to Brigadier Saban.
धन्यवाद सुनीत। असतो मां सद्गमय तमसो मां ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मां अमृतम गमय। ज्ञान की प्राप्ति और सत्य की खोज चिरकाल से भारतवासियों के जीवन दर्शन का लक्ष्य रहा है। ईसा पूर्व 5वीं शताब्दी से 12वीं शताब्दी तक नालंदा महाविहार विश्व का महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षा केंद्र था। यहाँ शब्द विद्या, शिल्प विद्या, वास्तुशास्त्र, गणित, मूर्तिकला को ही नहीं, अनुशासन और सदाचार की भी शिक्षा दी जाती थी। और अब कर्नाटक भारतीय संस्कृति की ज्ञान की परंपरा को बढ़ाते हुए देश में आधुनिक शिक्षा के नए आयाम स्थापित हो रहे हैं। कर्नाटक ने शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में अभूतपूर्व प्रगति की है। विश्वविद्यालय में काले गाउन पहने ये स्नातक हैं। प्रस्तुत झांकी में भारतीय विज्ञान संस्थान, वैज्ञानिक उपयोग में आने वाले यंत्र सभी कुछ दिखाए गए हैं। अगली शताब्दी में हम इसी आधुनिक शिक्षा की प्रगति के साथ कदम रखेंगे। विज्ञान का युग है और विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान के साथ साथ प्रगति भी आवश्यक है, क्योंकि विज्ञान ही आज बहुत कुछ हमें आगे बढ़ाता है। प्रस्तुत झांकी हमारी विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में प्रगति का प्रतीक। विश्व की सर्वोच्च हानले वेधशाला लद्दाख में स्थित है, बहुत ऊंचाई पर। बेंगलोर से उपग्रह के माध्यम से संचालित वेधशाला में लगाए जा रहे टेलीस्कोप से 10 अरब प्रकाश वर्ष दूर तक के सितारों को देखा जा सकेगा। हौसले यदि बुलंद हो तो तारों तक भी पहुंचा जा सकता है। यही संदेश है इस झांकी का। और अब आसाम विशाल ब्रह्मपुत्र की कलकल के संग किलकारियों करता आसाम कला संस्कृति का महान संगम स्थल। आसाम की संस्कृति के आयामों पर प्रकाश डाला गया है। अंकिया भावना, मध्यकालीन चित्रकला, शिल्पकला, भोरताल नृत्य की शालीनता, भव्यता को सुंदर तरीके से प्रस्तुत किया जा रहा है। ये झांकी वहाँ की सांस्कृतिक गहनता को दर्शाती है। वेशभूषा, वस्त्र, संगीत, महारानी ऐश्वर्या देवी, राज्य लक्ष्मी, शाह, मंत्र मुग्ध। मेघालय सुदूर उत्तर पूर्व की पहाड़ियों पर बसा खूबसूरत राज्य। खासी, गारो, जयंतिया जनजातियों की संस्कृति और सामाजिक ताने बाने से बुना वातावरण अक्सर गूंज उठता है पहाड़ी संगीत से। सुंदर, मनमोहक, कानों को प्रिय। आप भी आनंद लीजिए संगीत का। और नागालैंड भारत का उत्तर पूर्व क्षेत्र सांस्कृतिक संपन्नता, विविधता से भरपूर है। ऊंची पर्वत श्रृंखलाएं, शांत घाटियां, मुस्कुराती हरियाली, हंसते फूल, धान के सीढ़ीदार खेत। उत्तर पूर्व के नागा अपनी संपन्न और रंग बिरंगी संस्कृति के लिए प्रसिद्ध हैं। त्योहारों के मौकों पर मधुर संगीत और नृत्य। सांस्कृतिक समूह उत्तर पूर्व क्षेत्र के नृत्यों का प्रदर्शन ये प्रतीक है इस क्षेत्र में शांति, सद्भाव और पारस्परिक सामंजस्य का। विविधता में एकता, यही तो मूल मंत्र है। पंजाब वो धरती गबरू जवान की, यहाँ मक्खन मैया मोरी, मैं नहीं माखन खाई। दूध और दही की नदियां, श्वेत क्रांति पंजाब से। यहाँ का संगीत, यहाँ की थिरकन, यहाँ का घी। जी हाँ, और जब कभी आक्रमण हुआ तो इसका इन्होंने मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया। पंजाब देश के अग्रणी राज्यों में से एक है। सफलता की एक कहानी कहती है पंजाब की ये झांकी। राष्ट्रपति स्वयं महाराज धिराज को इसके बारे में बता रहे थे। ऊर्जा मंत्रालय, जहां ऊर्जा है, कभी तो हमने पत्थर रगड़कर, कभी लकड़ियां रगड़ करके अग्नि को यहाँ पर उससे हवन किया। ऊर्जा अर्थात शक्ति जीवन का स्रोत है। ऊर्जा का हमारे विकास में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान रहा है। विद्युत यानी प्रगति, विद्युत यानी संपन्नता, बिजली से ही शक्ति। और फिर वस्त्र पर आते हैं वस्त्र मंत्रालय का। जी हाँ, रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान मनुष्य की बुनियादी जरूरतों में से एक है। आधुनिक काल में भारतीय पारंपरिक वस्त्रों के वजूद को जिंदा बनाए रखकर उच्च तकनीक के जरिए गुणवत्ता को बढ़ाकर। और अब नितिन कोहली।
Textiles, one of the most important sectors of our economy, right from handlooms up to power looms. And following the textiles tableau is the one from Kerala, which highlights the importance of 100% literacy in the state. The highest life expectancy and the lowest infant mortality rate in the country, indeed one of the most developed states of the country. Kerala maintains exceptionally high standards in healthcare. What a beautiful sight to have a mother caring for her baby in her lap, fanning her with a palm leaf fan. And the tableau provides a glimpse into the developmental work that has gone into making Kerala such a developed state. The Honorable President himself is from Kerala, and it is indeed taking him back probably to his days of childhood. Coconut palm trees, a sight from a hospital where nurses are caring for the sick. In fact, most of the nurses in leading hospitals in India are from the state of Kerala. We Care, so apt a name for that tableau. And coming up is the Ministry of Environment and Forests tableau on the environment. In our country, the 5 basic elements have not only been regarded as the fundamental elements of nature, but have also been ascribed to the status of gods. Since time immemorial, the balance between man and nature has been followed. Ecological balance amongst the constituents of nature is a reflection of mutual respect and sensitivity towards each other. A heavenly pleasure is experienced in this balance. But today, environmental degradation has reached a critical stage, and that's what this tableau depicts. In the middle of it, a globe split in two, with performers trying to highlight damage that is being done to Mother Nature and the need to preserve the environment for the future generations to come. An attempt to convey this message through a fascinating drama. An important message indeed of environmental protection. That is the icy continent of Antarctica from the Department of Ocean Development. The first Indian scientific expedition to Antarctica was in 1981, and a few years later, after the first Indian teams went there, we set up our permanent stations like Dakshin Gangotri and Maitri. Penguins, the inhabitants of Antarctica, almost dressed in their black and white suits. Crowds applauding and enjoying this sight. In fact, on this cold winter morning. Coming up from the States is now the tableau from Jammu and Kashmir, the paradise on earth. Once again in full bloom, and this tableau is about Kashmir, a view of the handicrafts, the rich cultural heritage, the traditional weaving, the beautiful trees, chinar trees. In fact, this is a sight from the Shalimar Bagh, At the end of the tableau, those are musical instruments and the traditional music of Jammu and Kashmir. Ladies in their traditional attire, jewelry, swing to traditional Kashmiri music, and the famous shikara, which all tourists who have traveled to Jammu and Kashmir and visited Srinagar have definitely experienced the shikara right at the end of the tableau. Over to my colleague Pradeep Sharma in Hindi.
धन्यवाद ललित। और अब उत्तर प्रदेश की झांकी हस्तशिल्प। जब हम आजाद हुए थे तब हमारे सामने समस्या थी बढ़ती जनसंख्या को पालने की, रोजगार देने की, खाद्यान्न के मामलों में आत्मनिर्भरता की। और ये तभी हो पाता जब उद्योगों का विकास होता, लोगों को रोजगार मिलता और उनकी क्रय क्षमता बढ़ती। हमेशा से ही ये हस्तशिल्प और हस्त उद्योग अनेक लोगों के जीवन यापन का स्रोत रहा है। ये झांकी इन्हीं हस्तशिल्पियों को समर्पित है। उत्तर प्रदेश देश में सबसे ज्यादा जनसंख्या वाला राज्य है। यहाँ हस्तशिल्प और हस्त उद्योगों की एक लंबी परंपरा रही है। जहाँ फिरोजाबाद की रंग बिरंगी चूड़ियां महिलाओं के हाथों की शोभा और सौंदर्य है, वहीं कन्नौज का इत्र सारे विश्व में अपनी खुशबू फैला रहा है। और अब परंपरा से प्रगति की ओर चले। औद्योगिक क्रांति के बाद दूसरी क्रांति है सूचना और तकनीकी क्रांति, जिसने एक आम आदमी की जिंदगी को बहुत प्रभावित किया है, चाहे वो रेलवे आरक्षण हो या परीक्षा मूल्यांकन। और यही दर्शाया गया है आंध्र प्रदेश की इस झांकी में हाईटेक। आंध्र प्रदेश ने इस स्वप्न को हकीकत का एक रूप दिया है और एक सुव्यवस्थित तरीके से सरकारी विभागों में इसे लागू किया है। और अब महाराष्ट्र की झांकी, जिसमें दर्शाया गया है मुंबई, दुनिया के बेहतरीन शहरों में से एक, और अब एक व्यापारिक, औद्योगिक और वाणिज्यिक शहर भी। एक मछुआरे गांव से लेकर आधुनिक शहर तक की एक लंबी यात्रा की है मुंबई ने। शहर को इस आधुनिक रूप प्रदान करने में यहाँ के लोगों का योगदान वाकई अनुकरणीय रहा है। मछुआरे हंसते गाते समुद्र में जा रहे हैं। झांकी के प्रथम भाग में मुंबई के पुराने रूप का चित्रण किया गया है। मस्ती में नाचते गाते इन्हीं मछुआरों ने आज की मुंबई की नींव रखी। दूसरे अंश में प्रदर्शित सागर सम्राट, वाणिज्यिक केंद्रों की ऊंची इमारतें और बंदरगाह इस शहर के व्यावसायिक महत्व को दर्शा रहे हैं। और अंत में गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया सभी का स्वागत करता प्रतीत होता है। महाराष्ट्र की झांकी, जिसमें मुंबई का एक सजीव चित्रण किया गया है। और अब सुनीत।
Thank you very much. And here's the float, which has been depicting the famous story of the race between the hare and the tortoise from the Panchatantra. Laksh ki or, it says on the top. The story highlights the message that patience and steadiness are the key to success. The tortoise symbolizes steady efforts, whereas the hare represents those who lose precious time due to their arrogance and false pride in their competence. This is the CPWD's tableau, and it's always seen only at this parade because the flowers are all fresh. And behind that, the Madhya Pradesh tableau depicting the Dashera of Bastar. India, as we all know, is a land of colorful festivals. These celebrations impart zest and life to our society. The Dashera is celebrated in the month of Ashwin for 13 days at Jagdalpur in Bastar. And this festival is depicted here. It is a people's festival. From being spectators, the people have become active participants and bringing joy to the hearts of these spectators. And now the Rajasthan float depicting Gangor, the festival of Gangor in Udaipur, a city of pomp and pageantry, and you can see the characteristic architecture of that city here. Gangor festival in Pichola Lake. The Gangor festival marks the advent of spring, when the trees sprout forth new leaves and buds, flowers bloom, and the bright sun shines in the sky. Traditional folk dancers and musicians attract and fascinate the viewers with their melodious songs and dances. Look at the colors, so bright, so typical of this wonderful state of Rajasthan.
floats towards
And
India Gate,
here
we come
comes
to
colorful
the rhythm of life.
musical Goa with the rhythm of life.
Entire gathering.
Goa is a vibrant and
And
harmonious blend of the east and
petals
west.
which are fluttering down
Captivating
on
beauty of
this
the beaches
beautiful
of Goa is
float
beyond
from
words.
Goa.
The state is known for
Will
its
bring
cultural
its-
diversity
bring
and
its
its rich
bloom
charm.
to
And the
the
Goa Tableau is
most
always very popular because
enchanting
there's
vibrancy
lots of
among
music,
us.
lots of dancing, lots of fun happening in a carnival atmosphere.
And I
Over
would
to
like
Rita.
you to
Thank you, Sunith. And
share
yes,
this beautiful
Goa has
moment
always
with
been a
me.
vibrant and harmonious blend of the East and the West. The joyous people in harmony with the rhythm, the lyrical music, the spirit of Goa, beautiful Goa. As they sprinkle, rather, they don't even need to sprinkle because the wind seems to be carrying the confetti across to the crowds. The golden sands, the waves of the deep blue Arabian Sea. Goa with its cultural diversity and inherent beauty. As the children eagerly acknowledge the greetings of the Goans who have descended on Delhi with the colours of blue and yellow. And this particular float has the distinction of having a live band here,
Most enchanting.
which is one of the highlights
sight
of
I've seen
the tableau from
major.
Goa.
I wanted to
Most
be
of the
there.
other tableaus have recorded music.
I want to admit
This particular tableau from Goa has a live band performing.
this beautiful rhythm of life has been appreciated by our distinct
As
gathering.
part of the celebrations, here is Odissi from the state of
That is
Orissa.
often found in Natya. Different forms of classical dances.
On the screen you can see the dancers from northern India representing Kathak.
The Kathak dancers. In front of you.
Nurtured for centuries, dancers in India have evolved in different parts of the
Visitor to
country
India
with their
is
own distinct style,
enthralled
taking on the culture
by
of
the
that particular
diversity of
region,
dance in
each
India.
acquiring its own flavor.
Odissi
And through
from
the
the state
ages,
of Orissa.
all developed as mature classical dances, surviving for nearly 3,000 years in our country. Odissi from the state of Orissa.
Nurtured for centuries, dance in India has evolved in different parts of the country with their own distinct style, taking on the culture of a particular region, each acquiring its own flavor through the ages,
The dancers dance in praise of our country, Bharat.
surviving for nearly 3,000 years in our history.
The music is by
Odissi.
G.S. Rajan. And now Kathak from northern India,
Kathak from northern India.
a dance form that evolved in the Mughal courts.
And don't miss the
Odissi,
structures of
Kathak,
that particular
And
state
then
from
we
where they
move
come.
on to Mohiniyattam from the
to the
state of
dancers.
Kerala.
Architectural structure. Mohiniyattam.
A delight to the eyes. The white and gold costumes from Kerala. A state from where the president himself hails.
Dignitaries enjoying every bit of it.
And from Kerala, we travel to neighboring Tamil Nadu for Bharatanatyam.
And the Bharatanatyam from Tamil Nadu.
Through all these dances, what is being projected is that we have a rich cultural heritage, bound together with a spirit of oneness. As long as the moon, the sun, and the stars illuminate the skies, may the glory be sung by one and all of our country. O Bharat.
From south, we move on to
From
the east.
Tamil Nadu to the
Very
state of
east.
Manipur,
Manipur.
the Manipuri dance. Very graceful movements. Two damsels with Lord Krishna in the center.
The Radha Krishna dance, ever so popular in any good quality classical representation.
Manipuri costumes which are so typical and yet so distinctive. From Manipur now to the state of Andhra Pradesh.
So colorful, so poised, so rhythmic.
The last of the series of classical dances, Kuchipudi.
And all
The
these
state of
dance
Andhra
forms have
Pradesh.
survived due to the patronage they receive from the viewers and spectators. Kuchipudi from the state of Andhra Pradesh. And that
Of
is
course, we have
spectators and patronage are the
visitors to the country
India playing
who
its
are
role.
witnessing this grand spectacle. The Kuchipudi dancers on their thalis made of brass, very difficult feat to perform. Not only have you to keep in mind your mudras, but also your feet work.
Dancers dance in praise of our country,
The
Bharat.
footwork has to be intricate,
As long as the moon, the sun, and
yet
the
you should
stars
not lose
illuminate
your
the sky,
balance.
may your glory be sung by one and all. O Bharat. Conceived and choreographed by Padma Shri Raja Radha Reddy, presented by Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Celebrating Visit India this year. Music by T.S. Rajan, costumes by
सूर्यश्च नक्षत्रैश्चरतो दिवि यावते चरितं लोके भारते
Manipuri.
प्रचरिष्यति
All sections of our society, not only within India, but the world. Jai Bharat. Vande Mataram.
The words of the song, as long as the moon, the sun, and the stars illuminate the skies, may your glory be sung by one and all, O Bharat. Conceived and choreographed by Padma Shri's Raja Radha Reddy, presented by the Ministry of Tourism,
Wasn't
Government
that
of
beautiful?
India, celebrating the Visit India Year.
Indian
Each
classical
dance
dance
with its typical
presented so
architectural
beautifully,
backdrop,
so artistically
reflecting the cultural
by the
tradition
Ministry of
of
Tourism.
the different states
Floats
from where
down
it is
the Rajpath.
associated.
to give pleasure to multitudes of people who are awaiting the arrival of the parade.
As this tableau
Down
moves
Rajpath
forward,
and beyond.
we have the brave
And
children
now, the most phenomenal
riding
and important
atop
part,
the
the
caparisoned elephants,
Mother-in-law,
moving
Rana.
towards the saluting days. Grand view of the spectacle that is the Republic Day celebrations.
the National Bravery Award-winning
Honoured with the
children
National Bravery
on the
Awards for displaying
decorated,
exemplary
beautifully
courage and
decorated
presence in the mind of
brave children riding atop
in the face of brave
been
danger.
honored with the
16
National
children
Bravery Award.
won these awards, in which 6 are girls and 10 are boys. One award has been given posthumously to Kumari Karuna Dubey
Carson
from
Rover,
Madhya
the
Pradesh,
Chopra Award,
lost her life
Mari
while
Achal
she was trying to save her brother and sister from drowning.
Mohammad Latif, Babu Gaidhani
Geeta
Award,
Chopra and
Mari
Sanjay
Yamini
Chopra
Kanwar,
awards
Rajasthan,
went to
Master
Kumari
Pramod
Anchal
Hariom
Grover
Arora and Master Sanket Surinder Sadhu from Maharashtra, Master Pramod Ji,
Kumari
Karnataka,
Shivani
Master
Sharma
Ram Sahu
from
from Orissa,
Atif
Master
and
Avesh Ahmed
Anurag
and
from Delhi
Master
won the Baba
Vakesh
Dayadhani awards,
JNK Ekta from Uttar Pradesh,
and the others were a tough
Mohammad
comparison.
Assam,
Elephants
Sudesh
Kumari
Kumar
Yamini
Saudi,
Kanwar from Rajasthan,
Pradesh,
Pramod Hariom Arora, Sanket Surendra Saudi, both from
great
Maharashtra,
future.
Pramodi from
Country
Karnataka,
is proud.
Satyabhama Sahu from Orissa, Uwais Ahmed, Vikas Ahmed, both from Jammu and Kashmir, Kumari Ekta from Uttar Pradesh, Muhammad Aslam
Brave
Khan,
children atop
Sudesh Kumar
capital
Sohe
lawn
from
elephants.
Madhya Pradesh. As they wave to the crowds and other children who are here, they seem to be motivating them
are
to
receiving
perform
applause
such acts
all around
themselves.
deserves the applause.
Warm round of applause for
Bravery
these
and
tiny
such a
tots,
young age
in spite of their age and
naturally to
size,
them
have
means
shown
we
that
are
courage
India. We
can
in
be
India are going to
displayed
get solid
by
success
anybody.
in the
You
future.
just have to be strong in mind.
And this brings us to the school
The cultural
girls band
pageant to the
from
children,
various schools,
which is to unfold
in and
here,
around
heralded by a
the
masked
cultural
band
region
of
of
girls
children,
from
heralded by
SGTB
the
and
masked
Guru Nanak
band of
Government
girls,
Senior Secondary School from
SGTB,
Delhi.
Guru Nanak Government Senior Secondary School from Delhi.
Behind them we can see the flag bearers, various schools of Delhi.
Enjoy the lovely music.
SGTB and Guru Nanak Government Senior Secondary School girls from Delhi in their tartan kilts. Flag
And
bearers
these are
from
the girls,
various
flag bearers
schools of
from
Delhi,
different schools.
holding aloft colors of the
They are
tricolour,
following the band.
saffron, white and green. And behind them we have
As the breeze blows down the Rajpath,
flag bearers
multitude of flags
from other schools of Delhi,
giving
this time
lovely
boys
of the tricolor of
bearers. Just behind the girls who carry colours
top
of the national
of their floating colors. The girl flag bearers are followed by the flag bearers from different boys' schools of Delhi,
धन्यवाद रीनी.
and they too are dressed
नई
similarly in
पीढ़ी,
the same color pattern.
भविष्य
carrying
के
the flag.
नागरिक,
Once again,
रंग बिरंगे ध्वज बहुत ही मुस्तैदी से पकड़े हुए और कदम से कदम मिलाकर मार्च कर रहे हैं.
marching in step.
क्या कोई इन्फेंट्री का सिपाही ऐसा मार्च करेगा?
Boys band
हमें
is following them.
देश के इन भावी नागरिकों पर गर्व है.
You can see boys from various schools, Jain Samnapasak, SM Jain School, Maharaja Christian School, DAV Dayanand Bihar. They are all from Delhi.
और अब
And they are lovely
स्कूल का
school
बैन
uniforms. And this color looks
जैन
so beautiful on a
समनोपासक
winter
स्कूल,
morning.
एसएम जैन
High
स्कूल,
above and
महाराजा
on the
अग्रसेन
red
स्कूल
flag.
और डीएवी दयानंद
Excellent
विहार.
Excellent marching. Excellent.
शहीद वंदना. शहीदों की चिताओं पर लगेंगे हर बरस मेले. वतन पे मरने वालों का यही बाकी निशान होगा. सर्वोदय कन्या विद्यालय नंबर 1 पालम,
Vandana,
राजेंद्र नगर
from Sarvodaya
छात्राएं
Girls School,
राष्ट्रबोधक गीत
present
शहीद
patriotic
वंदना
song,
का
Vandana.
हृदय
Let us all
स्पर्शी
join
प्रस्तुतिकरण
to pay tribute to
करने जा
martyrs
रही
who
हैं.
laid their lives for the freedom
राष्ट्र
of the
की
motherland.
रक्षा के हेतु
Today,
बलिदान देने वाले शहीदों को शत शत नमन. यदि राष्ट्र की वेदी पर हम अपने प्राणों की आहुति न दें तो क्या भावी पीढ़ियां सुख और चैन से सांस ले सकती हैं?
and as this short they were,
शहीद वंदना.
center depicting the fallen braves of India.
वो जीना भी क्या जीना जो मस्तक को झुका दिया करते हैं. जीना तो उन्हीं का जीना जो इतिहास बदल दिया करते हैं. वो जीना सूर्य से वो जले अग्नि से, तब कहीं लौह बंधन पिघल कर गिरे। भारत माता की खातिर जो 100 बार जन्म लिया करते हैं, जीना तो उन्हीं का जीना जो इतिहास बदल दिया करते हैं। वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम। छिन जाते दीवारों में वो लाल जिए अंगारों में, महका है सारा देश आज भारत माँ के उन प्यारों से। महका है सारा देश आज भारत माँ के उन प्यारों से। फांसी का फंदा भी हंसते हंसते जो पहन लिया करते हैं। जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी। जीना तो उन्हीं का जीना जो इतिहास बदल दिया करते हैं। जीना तो उन्हीं का जीना जो इतिहास बदल दिया करते हैं। जीना तो उन्हीं का जीना जो इतिहास बदल दिया करते हैं।
जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी याद करो कुर्बानी. That's the message from these children that go out
वंदे मातरम,
happily, jauntingly,
इतिहास,
giving their homage to the brave who have fallen,
संघर्ष,
who have given their entire
स्वतंत्रता।
life and blood
बहुत
so
ही
that
सुंदर।
the citizens in future
आइए
can
चलते
live in peace
हैं
and harmony.
प्रकृति की ओर। पृथ्वी हमारी देख रेख करती
comes
है,
a glimpse of
प्रकृति
nature
करती है। क्या
from
हम
Cambridge
पृथ्वी की
Foundation
देख रेख
School of
करते
Delhi.
हैं? पृथ्वी का प्राकृतिक सौंदर्य अवर्णनीय है,
Don't miss the nature's
अनोखा लुभावना
beauty and
अनुभव।
splendor.
कैम्ब्रिज फाउंडेशन विद्यालय राजौरी गार्डन की छात्राओं द्वारा प्रस्तुत यह नृत्य पृथ्वी पर बिखरे रंग बिरंगे सौंदर्य की मनोहारी छटा दर्शाने वाला है।
Flora and fauna brought alive here by these school children. That was a representation of nature from the girls of Cambridge Foundation School, Delhi.
प्रकृति के
Applauded by
बाद
the dignitaries and other
प्रकृति बहुत ही सुंदर छटा हरियाली